just changed overnight.
1 minute, 60-year-old Curtis Dixon was receiving $100,000 for a good deed.
We need more people like Curtis in this world.
A week and a half later, last Monday, witnesses say Dixon was hogtied in his burned-out SUV on Detroit's east side.
I woke up, I'm like, what's going on?
He survived. Sources say there are some inconsistencies in Dixon's story, but he claims he met someone in the area of Mount Elliott in Nevada. From there, he was kidnapped, driven to ATMs to pull out money, then beaten, tied up, and his car set ablaze. Several days into this investigation, the feds picked up the case from Detroit police. The ATF now investigating this as a possible arson, kidnapping, and extortion.
And hopefully they catch whoever did it to him, because we don't want that in our neighborhood.
Last month, Dixon was gifted $100,000 from MD Motivator.
He's what is he, 18 years old? And he's getting these interviews. And
I'm getting old. I'm 26 now.
Oh my God.
No, how are you dealing with it? Does your body ache?
When are you going to start taking Social Security?
I think you're going to have to stop calling me the hair.
No, the hair is good.
All right, here we go. Back to some super chats until Jimmy's ready. All right. Thank you, Desiree. Thank you, Andy. Savage, thank you very much. I'm going here. Everything's a scam. Everything's a lie. Everything's hypocrisy, so I don't comply. Vienticus. We don't have enough water resources to make Los Angeles more dense housing than we already have. That is such a great point, FSL. Right?
What's the point?
The infrastructure of water resources in the state of California. So they're going to do high density building construction in Palisades. It was very interesting how there were some people on the chat that you were like, it's a rich person's problem.
No.
It's not a rich person's problem. This high density construction is, a moneymaker for construction companies, and they don't give a shit about the community that they're destroying. They're not really rebuilding it. They're expanding it. And that demand is it's no way to live. And, I have family and friends that live in Altadena. That community has been destroyed. And it's a beautiful community. And it's not just for wealthy people. There are people, there are people that have very modest means in Altadena and Palisades. And I don't think you should really diminish, the struggle that these families are having. It's like over 23,000 people that are having to deal with this and being displaced. My sister's home is in Altadena, and they'd lived there for probably 25 years. And their entire neighborhood is destroyed. And so their home survived. And, but all you see is just burnt down buildings throughout that community. And it's, the people that want to move back, it makes it very difficult to move back. So it's a community issue. I wouldn't say that it's just for wealthy people.
Certainly not Altadena.
No. Don't worry, Jimmy, but Idiocracy times the White House ballroom will have been converted into a Costco, FSO. Boy, that whole thing about $1.1 billion and there's no transparency in rebuilding the East Wing and the Capitol with taxpayers. I don't think taxpayers ever voted on that issue that, please expand the Capitol with $1.1 billion of taxpayer money. And where'd all that money go for the homeless? Jennifer Terry. Hello, Jennifer. This is the best birthday present I got, Jimmy. Vinton, thank you, Vinton. JM, thank you, JM. Much appreciated. Don't worry, Jimmy's going to be right back with a couple segments. I'm just reading through some of your super chats. Kenneth Noga, thank you, Kenneth Noga. Much appreciated. Joyous, may the force be with you, Jimmy. Eva Dawn, thank you, Eva Dawn. Much appreciated. Hey, you. Great. Vita in DC, what's up, Vita? JD Vance, when they made me put my little JD in their wall and everybody was watching, that was weird. That was so funny. When he kept saying that was weird, it just sounded like Mike McRae doing a character. That was weird. All right, here we go. Let's do some more super chats for you, ladies and gents. Okay. Chili Willy, thank you, Chili Willy. Much appreciated. Israel's security should have been Saudi deal back in 2000. Israel said no to Palestinian state and go along for full recognition by all Muslim countries, including Iran, Assad, Syria, and Saddam's Iraq. Wasim, thank you, Wasim. Likud party member introduced the bill, and Bibi, as PM, has the power to remove the bill from the vote according to fake real law. Wasim. Mark Thomas, what's up? PIJ spokesman said they are not disarming. That's from Wasim. Trump let Israel annex the Golan Heights. Why wouldn't he ultimately give in and give Israel the entirety of the West Bank? It seems like he will. PW Walker. Wasim, you're back. Trump making West Bank red line because if Israel annex West Bank, Hamas will say ceasefire over and ruin Kushner's Gaza real estate deal. JM, thank you, JM. Terminal High Altitude Area Defense Thad Savage. Can't wait for Mike. Oh, yeah, that was effing weird. Right, Brad? Purely symbolic, like Israel with its undefined borders. Indeed, flick off. All right. How you doing, Jimmy? Pretty good?
Okay, you can come.
All right. Right on time. Back to Jim Jam. All right.
So here is a master plan Jared's been working on for 2 years. So Jared Kushner and there's Joseph. And Witkoff, which is Trump's special envoy to get this Gaza thing fixed, not doing a great job. So Kushner he yesterday revealed that they plan to rebuild Gaza before it was destroyed. They already had this plan, and this isn't a peace deal. It's a seizure of Palestine. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law, Jared. You want to hear it? Here it is.
We're working with a group of people who have been working on master plans for the last 2 years.
So there are plans already.
Yeah. We have plans already. We have a master plan already. And
for the last 2 years. So before they destroyed Gaza, they had a master plan. That would be called premeditated murder, I'm pretty sure. But again, the chosen ones are not subject to the regular laws of the universe. So let's listen to more.
And Jared's been pushing this, and we're working together.
So they've been pushing this. They had a master plan 2 years ago. 2 years ago is when the war started, before anybody knew what was going to happen. Apparently, they did know what was going to happen because they had a master plan. And the plan was to flatten Gaza, annex the West Bank, and then build the Trump Riviera. Let's listen to what... First of all, why does this guy always look shiny and wet? Kushner, doesn't he? He's feel guilty about something? Let's listen.
He looks like the son-in-law in Succession.
Yes.
You seen that show?
I haven't, but here we go.
On master plans for the last 2 years.
Look at his face. Did you see his face when he said it? Watch his face.
On master plans for the last 2 years.
Like, you're not supposed to say that. You said the quiet part out loud, dummy. You're not supposed to say that. Let's watch it again.
On master plans for the last 2 years.
Huh? Zoinks? So that's Trump's son-in-law talking about building waterfront property in Gaza. They've been planning this for a long time. Jared has been publicly talking about this master plan way before. So let's listen to him do this.
In Gaza's waterfront property, it could be very valuable to, if people would focus on kind of building up, livelihoods. You think about all the money that's gone into this tunnel network and into all the munitions. If that would have gone into education or innovation, what could have been done? And so I think that it's a little bit of an unfortunate situation there. But I think from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up. But I don't think that Israel has stated that they don't want the people to move back there afterward. The thing that I would try to do if I was Israel right now is I would just bulldoze something in the Negev. I would try to move people in there. I know that won't be the popular thing to do, but I think that that's a better option to do so that you can go in and finish the job.
Okay, so does he think that money? So he's talking about the money that they used to build tunnels. Does he think that money was supposed to go towards building up Gaza beachfront property? Because Israel drove suitcases stuffed with cash into Gaza to keep Hamas in power. So we all know that they're the ones who funded Hamas. Did they really think they were going to use that to build beachfront property? What did they think they were going to use that money for? Okay, so that's that. So I think the world should tell Israel, go fund yourself. But that's how I feel. Well, what do you make of this? Does that seem like an admission that they've been planning this all along? Because they have.
Of course they have. I mean, it's the same thing with Iran today. It's the same thing with the 6 countries that Wesley Clark exposed as a whistleblower that the U.S. was going to target and destabilize and try to commit regime change in. Because they didn't bend to the knee of the U.S. They don't have central banks owned by the British, so on and so forth. And I think that Jared Kushner should take his own advice. I think the U.S. should, instead of funding 800 military bases and waging all these wars across the world, I think that a lot more cities could look a lot nicer if the U.S. reinvested in building up better beachfront property rather than allowing homeless to lay all over the streets and crime to go up in all these cities. I think we need to focus on our issues.
Boy, that's you sound very right wing. I don't know. You want to invest in the United States? That sounds crazy. We're supposed to send money to Ukraine. We're supposed to send money to Taiwan. We're supposed to send money to Israel, and then we're supposed to invade Venezuela. So I don't know what you're talking about. That seems crazy.
Borderline anti-Semitic, what I just said.
That's very anti-Semitic. So yeah, it does seem like that they let the cat out of the bag there. And are we seeing things that Jared Kushner actually reacted to that? Like what the? Remember how Anthony Blinken used to react when Joe Biden would say something stupid during his speech? Anthony Blinken was his chief of staff. He would go, "Oh God," he was. So wasn't he the Secretary of State? I think Blinken was, right? Wasn't he, or was he chief of staff?
Yeah.
And so that's what seems like Jared Kushner was doing there, right? Does that what that seem like to you?
There was probably a long conversation with a lot of scolding after that took place. But I think Witkoff is actually kind of getting forced out of his position. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't heard that.
I did hear that. I heard that he's getting forced. And also Rick Grenell, who was the one that met with Maduro at the start of the Trump presidency, has been in effect forced out by Marco Rubio. I think Marco Rubio doesn't like that Witkoff and Grenell got to play Secretary of State and meet with all the bad countries. I think he's forcing them all out and pushing his agenda now.
Well, as I say in my stand-up act, when Trump appointed Marco Rubio, I thought it was like some kind of punishment for America. Right? I mean, that's it. It really seems like that. And so again, what do you make of the Trump presidency so far, Jackson? I mean, it seems like he's turned his back on everything. He's supposed to cut the deficit. He exploded it. He was supposed to cut all that money that Doge uncovered. He didn't cut it. He just actually doubled it and gave it to the Pentagon. So he didn't cut that money. They didn't cut that spending. So there's that. Then he got rid of all the left-wing hate speech, censorship, and all that stuff in DEI. And then he just invented his own right-wing stuff for his Zionists. And there's hate speech laws that he's enforcing on colleges. There's DEI rules for Zionists and Jews that he's enforcing. So he turned his back, and he's against free speech, right? So he's deporting people for using free speech instead of defending free speech. So he's censorious. Now he didn't end the Ukraine war like he said in 24 hours, and he's being controlled by Israel. And he's getting ready to start a war with Venezuela and do another coup, a regime change war, which Tulsi Gabbard screamed about a year before in 2019. So what do you make of? I think I see Donald, except for RFK Jr. or what they're doing domestically with that on that front. I think everything else has been a disaster. What do you make?
For someone who cares so much about his legacy, I've never seen someone nuke their legacy as quickly and thoroughly as Donald Trump. I guess America is not in a good position globally. We're an empire in decline, but Trump's not doing anything to make it better at all in any way, shape, or form. And the Venezuela, the Gaza thing, 53% of Americans support recognizing Palestinian statehood. The overwhelming majority of Democrats and 43% of Republicans even support that. So, and that's a new Reuters poll. So you question Donald Trump's thinking there. He's going against the grain of what the American people want. 63% of Americans oppose intervention in Venezuela. And that's before they understand how many Americans will die if we try to invade Venezuela. And he's also now talking about invading Colombia, regime change there. Mm-hmm. He is increasing troop levels in the International Security Force in Haiti to try and stifle a pro-sovereignty movement in Haiti. They are ramping up tariffs on Nicaragua, one of the poorest countries in the Americas, because they are an anti-imperialist country. And with Russia, I mean, you had him toying around with the idea last week of sending nuclear-capable Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine. And this was the guy saying that he wanted to stop the bloodshed and violence. So complete failure all across the board.
I mean, his warmongering in this hemisphere is kind of mind-blowing. And it's weird for me to see a lot of MAGA influencers completely going along. They're just as sycophantic to Trump and him to betraying them as the Democrats were to Joe Biden and Barack Obama betraying them. When Barack Obama took us from 2 wars to 7, sided with the bankers over homeowners, gave us a giveaway healthcare plan to big pharma and the health insurance companies, and then deported 3 million. But they all just turned the other way. And those people, not only are they looking the other way when Trump does this in our own hemisphere, they're applauding it. They're amplifying his lies about why he's doing it. He wants to overthrow Venezuela, just like in his first term. It had nothing to do with drug running. He wants to do it because he wants to steal their oil, and they have a lot of other natural resources, and he wants to give it to Chevron, and he wants to give it to other American companies. That's what this is about. And the reason why he now wants to overthrow Colombia is because Colombia won't go along with them. They won't let them use Colombia as staging or join in the overthrow of Venezuela. So now he's going to do a war on both those countries. And like you said, he's ramping up presence in Haiti to make sure nobody gets to have their own sovereignty. It's the exact opposite of what MAGA was standing for and what he said. We don't need the foreign wars. We don't need the regime change wars, as Tulsi Gabbard said. And here he is getting ready to do 2 already, and now wrapping up sanctions on Nicaragua and deploying more people to Haiti. It's no matter who you vote for, you get John McCain, right?
Yeah, and not to forget Iran, strikes on Iran, strikes on Yemen. When I was in Yemen, they were striking it. And they did a really big bombing on a residential complex, and I visited it a few hours after it was bombed, and I met the owner of the building, and he was telling me about all the civilians inside who were killed. I mean, it's as you said, John McCain level politics. The China stuff is not going well for him. There's no winning there. Why not just settle for peace? Why he talks about peace all the time. He talks about how happy he is he got peace between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo, if I'm not mistaken. He can't even remember the names of the countries that he apparently secured these major history-changing peace deals for, like Armenia and Azerbaijan. But he can't understand for some reason that Americans don't care about those conflicts. They care about the big conflicts going on and the conflicts that are going to cost us American lives. And he's starting new wars everywhere.
Yeah, he's already bombed 2 different countries at the behest of Israel. Within his first couple of months, he bombed Yemen and he bombed Iran. That was in his first 5 months of presidency. He bombed both. That was at the behest of Israel. And now he's bombing Venezuela, soon to be bombing Colombia, at the behest of American economic hitmen. It's the same thing. There's no difference between him and, it seems, Joe Biden or Barack Obama or George Bush and Dick Cheney or Bill Clinton. They all do the same thing. No matter who you vote for, you get John McCain, and Donald Trump is being John McCain. He's not doing anything like he said he was going to do. It's really and again, at the same time, disinvest. At the same time, he's still making sure that IDF soldiers get paid by the United States money, but Ukraine gets their Social Security and healthcare paid by the United States. He's still cutting healthcare and Social Security in the United States, which a lot of MAGA are on. He's cutting subsidies for healthcare that a lot of MAGA use. And Steve Bannon came on the show and said you can't do that. You got to use a scalpel, not a meat cleaver. And Trump is using a meat. So they're de-investing in the United States and our own country as we overspend militarily on military adventures and imperialism in foreign countries, which is exactly how every empire ends, and America is ending, right?
Yes, and I'll also add that Chevron doesn't even want this war in Venezuela. They were a major donor to the Trump inaugural committee. At the start of the Trump administration, they were doing business in Venezuela. When I went to Venezuela a few months ago, I talked with the Venezuelan investment minister, and I said, "What's the deal with the Chevron thing?" And he said, "Well, they wanted to come do business. They were allowed some, I guess, a way to evade the U.S. sanctions on us by the Trump administration. We gave them we negotiated deals that were fair. We gave them some plots of land to do mining on, or I guess oil rigging on, and they did it, and they were fine." So Chevron understands that if a war comes to Venezuela, with a country with a major military armed to the teeth, completely dedicated to Maduro and the revolution there, they also have a people's militia, 1 million strong, that is also armed and pretty well trained, that it's going to be complete chaos, and no one's going to be able to do business in Venezuela for 30, 40 years. There's going to be a protracted guerrilla conflict that's going to make Vietnam look like a cakewalk. The Chevron doesn't even want this. It's literally Marco Rubio, who just happens to be a genocidal Zionist and also have this vendetta against any countries in the Southern Hemisphere that don't bend to the knee of the United States.
Correct.